Well, if you're a gun voter in Bighorn, Fremont, Hot Springs, Park, or Washakie County, you have a choice to make in the upcoming August 20 Republican Party primary. Senator Ed Cooper or his challenger, Thomas Olmstead. Who's going to fight for your gun rights in the Wyoming Senate? Stay tuned, guys. We're breaking this race down for you right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming gun owners. The August primary is coming fast, and we're getting a lot of questions right now from gun voters about this primary in Senate District number 20, featuring incumbent state Senator Ed Cooper and his challenger, Thomas Olmstead. It's this great big chunk here of north central Wyoming, featuring 5 counties. And this is pro-gun country. Guys, the question you're asking us, it's the same question we discuss every 2 years. The question is not who says they're pro-gun. Everyone claims to be pro-gun in Wyoming in a Republican Party primary. Talk is cheap. We all know that. The question rather is, who can we count on? Who can we trust to lead in the fight for gun rights? We got a lot of folks who will vote pro-gun at the last minute on the floor. We have very few people who will lead in that fight and help us champion bills to the floor. Guys, in this video, we're not going to tell you who to vote for. That's beyond the scope of our organization. What we will do is give you our research on these 2 candidates. We have combined candidate survey programs, public statements, and voting histories to give you guys this breakdown. And we're going to begin with Thomas Olmstead. The good news when it comes to Thomas is he has surveyed 100% pro-gun with Wyoming gun owners. And what it means for us, for a candidate to survey 100%, it means they're not only going to vote pro-gun, but they're going to lead in the fight for gun rights by sponsoring pro-gun bills. Like I said, we have a lot of pro-gun votes in Cheyenne. Heck, pretty much the whole building would ultimately vote yes on a gun bill after a bunch of amendments to weaken down the bill. A lot of pro-gun votes. What we don't have are people who will sponsor pro-gun bills, at least not very many. Thomas Olmstead said he would do that. He would sponsor, for example, our bill to repeal deadly gun-free zones. You guys all remember what happened last session. We passed House Bill 125. It would repeal deadly gun-free zones in Wyoming, and Rhino Governor Gordon breaks his own campaign promise made to gun owners, and he vetoes the bill. That's a fight we have to finish. Olmstead says he would sponsor that bill if elected. He also said he would sponsor a bill to fix the problems with Wyoming's Second Amendment Preservation Act. You guys probably remember this fight from 2 years ago. SEPA, in a nutshell, tells the White House to get bent. It tells the White House that this is Wyoming. We're a sovereign state. We have our own legislature, our own constitution. We pass laws for our state, and our cops, paid for by our tax dollars, enforce our laws. And so if Biden, or God forbid, Kamala Harris, wants to come into Wyoming to enforce federal gun control laws, SEPA says, hell no. You cannot use our cops to do it. A couple of years ago, we ran this. The Rhinos ran a harmful bill in its place. As you guys all know, the bad bill passed. And so right now, we've got a fake version of SEPA with no teeth, no penalties. It's not good. Olmstead agrees he would sponsor a bill to fix the problems with Wyoming's SEPA law. Every other question we asked him, 100%, he would vote to defend stand your ground law. We still have Republicans who talk about weakening the elements of that bill, the presumption of innocence in particular. Olmstead disagrees. He would defend stand your ground law. He's a hell no on waiting periods, which Republicans have filed recently here in Wyoming. And finally, when it comes to mental health gun control, they call it fix NICS. The Rhinos do here in Cheyenne. Olmstead is an absolute no on fixed NICS or mental health gun control or red flag gun seizures light, whatever you want to call them. Every question we asked, 100% pro-gun. You can see Thomas Olmstead's survey and all the surveys right now on our website, wyominggunners.org, in the elections tab. Be sure and check it out. Now that brings up Senator Ed Cooper. Now Ed has been around for 4 years in the Senate, and we'll give him his due. Sometimes Ed has voted pro-gun. Sometimes he does it in committee, sometimes on the floor. The problem is that it's sometimes, and just as likely you'll see Ed Cooper voting with the Democrats and with the Rhinos against your gun rights. I'm going to break down a couple of those examples here today. I'm going to go kind of in the order of most recent, and we'll kind of go down from there. Again, this session, we pass House Bill 125. It will get rid of deadly gun-free zones in Wyoming. Governor Gordon vetoes it. The way to address that is to have a special session. If you're adjourned, and we were, you have to call for a special session to come back to Cheyenne, override that veto, and ram it down Gordon's throat. You have to have legislators who will vote to authorize a special session. And so this became the main gun vote in 2024. We got dozens of people in both chambers voting yes, pushing for a special session. Ed Cooper screws all of us, and he votes with the rhinos to make sure a special session did not happen. So it doesn't matter if you vote for the underlying bill if you know it's going to be vetoed by the governor and you're going to be there to have the rhinos' backs and protect them from a special session. Shameful stuff from Senator Cooper on the special session. I want to take another crack at this now. HB 125, the bill to get rid of deadly gun-free zones, it died in the Judiciary Committee last session. I was there for this, testifying on behalf of WIGO members. I'm trying to get you the exact date. I don't have that immediately handy, but so the bill dies in committee because the Republicans killed it. There's no Democrats on Judiciary, so it's the Republicans kill it. The next day, Senator Kinski and a bunch of other conservative senators get together on the floor of the Senate, and they use procedural rules, and they say, that's BS. This is a top priority issue for us. We're going to use procedural rules to resurrect that bill from Judiciary and put it on the floor for a roll call vote. That was successful. We ended up getting that done. But Ed Cooper sat there at his desk, shook his head, and pushed the no vote, trying to kill the bill. Again, when it counted, when we needed that vote, he sat there and stabbed gun voters in the back again. That was this session on the recommittal vote to move to move gun-free zone repeal from committee to the floor. So these are two great big procedural screw yous from Senator Cooper. Then we have SEPA, Second Amendment Preservation Act. This was House Bill 133. This was February 18, 2022. As you guys know, SEPA tells the feds you can't use local law enforcement here in Wyoming. We discussed that when it comes to Mr. Olmstead. And there's two versions. There's the good version with penalties, and there's the bad version with no penalties. And Ed Cooper, when we had a chance to actually secure real freedom here in Wyoming, he was a no vote on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Again, look it up. It's House Bill 133 from 2022. So guys, a real trend here. When tough floor votes are required, Ed Cooper continues to join with the rhinos and twist gun owners out, leave them twisting out in the breeze. And finally, we have a really nasty vote you should hear about that's related to gun rights, but not directly tied to gun rights. And what it was campaign finance law. This was House Bill 49. This was March 7, 2022. And here's the backstory. WIGO members have been ruthless at election time in the primaries in 2020, 2022. The state of Wyoming doesn't like Wyoming gun owners. They hate whiteboard videos like this because you guys use the information effectively and they want to shut us down. They passed a BS campaign finance law that would require us to give all kinds of information about our members to the state. When that happened, on the floor, there was an amendment that said, you know what, this is not constitutional, and the amendment would exempt 501c4s like Wyoming gun owners. Ed Cooper, when he had a chance to vote for that, joined the Democrats in the worst elements of the rhinos here in Cheyenne and voted no on that amendment. And again, the date was March 7, 2022, and it was House Bill 49. You can look it up for yourself. Guys, this bill was so bad that when the legislature passed it and the state then came after us, Governor Gordon, Attorney General Bridget Hill, and of course our favorite, Secretary of State, now former Secretary of State Ed Buchanan, when they came after us, we told them to screw off. We would not surrender our donor information. We got involved in a 3-year federal court fight, and we won big. In district court, we won again in circuit court. That fight is over. We won. That's why I'm here right now producing these videos. But it all would have been spared if Ed Cooper would have joined the conservatives and voted yes on the amendment to protect free speech rights. You see, The rhinos don't like it when gun owners and gun rights organizations like ours speak out at election time. They want to muzzle us. It's shameful, Stalinistic behavior. It never should have happened, and Ed Cooper joined to help make that happen here in Wyoming. Again, shameful stuff. Last but not least, Ed Cooper completed his survey, but he biffed it on some important questions. We asked him, for example, would you help us fix the problems with SEPA? Folks, I know it's hard to comprehend, but there is a scenario, God help all of us, where Kamala Harris is in the White House in January. Probably unlikely, but it's not impossible. And we must have real protections from SEPA with teeth. We asked Ed Cooper, would you help us fix the bill? And he said on the survey, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to touch this fight if elected and sent back to Cheyenne in January. So guys, the recap here is pretty simple. Ed Cooper will vote pro-gun sometimes, but when it counts, when the pressure mounts, when the media is watching, when the governor is making personal phone calls to senators, every time that happens, Ed Cooper has stabbed us in the back every single time. If you see Ed Cooper, ask him to apologize for all these terrible votes against your gun rights. And if you see Thomas Olmstead, be sure and thank him for his pro-gun candidate survey and for his vow to lead in the fight for gun rights by sponsoring pro-gun bills. Guys, that is our recap in this race. Do me a favor, whether you're seeing it on YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, or our website, share the video on social media, tag your friends, whatever you have to do. Make sure your friends have the facts about these two candidates. And guys, join the fight today at joinwygo.com.